Hello, Cancer. So we are going to check out what's going on with you guys. These are general. Take what works. What doesn't work just doesn't work. But let's see what the cards have to say for you at this moment. Okay, Cancer. So let's kind of get into it. So regarding what this situation or this reading is about, we have the Three of Swords in reverse, the King of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Wands, and then the Two of Pentacles. Now, there was some type of heartbreak, but I think you're actually releasing. You're in the point where I think you're almost like you want to, I don't want to say let go or move on, but I think it was a really kind of, I think it was kind of a deep heartbreak, but I think you've gotten to the point where the situation, it's time for you to start moving forward a little bit. But I think this heartbreak had to do with somebody who was this, like, I don't want to say immature, but emotionally, maybe they were a little manipulative. Maybe it was a little like they were up, they were down. It was constant, I don't want to say drama, but I'm kind of getting like just a real pain in the ass type of person, but it was like an emotional roller coaster for you. And I think this roller coaster, you might have been on it for a while, because I think with the Two of Pentacles, I think you were juggling this for a while and you got to the point where you realized you can't do this anymore. You have to heal from it and you have to kind of move forward from it. And it sparked like an Ace of Wands of like, okay, I got to start moving on and moving forward. So, but this is definitely something I think was, you were dealing with from a while. I think it's really probably more likely to be regarding a person or even a group of people. It could be something at work or with a career or whatever as well, but I just really feel like there was somebody who was a little bit emotionally draining to you and a little bit manipulative and not really, I don't want to say it was all about them. They could have been a little codependent, and I think you were just really trying to juggle this for a long time, but you got to the point where you're like, I have to kind of like, I got to do me. I got to move on. I at least start picking up the pieces and figuring out what the next step is. So we're going to continue with this. Now, in your current energies, you have the Chariot reverse and the Three of Wands reverse. Now, this is all about feeling stuck, like I really feel like you have to kind of move on, but you might be a little bit in the beginning phases with that, and you might not know exactly how are you going forward, like what's next, I really feel like, because this is like kind of like, I don't want to say an emotional thing, but I really feel like I don't want to say you're in your feels, guys, but I just think that you might not know, like, I think that you have to push forward, but you just might not know exactly how that's going to look, how that's going to be. And the Three of Wands is almost like, I don't want to say there's like lack of planning, but I just really feel like you guys are stuck. Like, I think you have good intentions of pushing forward and trying to get yourself back together again, or even in your mind or just emotionally. But I feel like you might be a little bit at like almost like a stalemate. There might be like an obstacle you're facing, or you just feel maybe a little bit like you don't even have the energy to deal with it. So that's kind of what I'm getting here with that. But what's coming in for you is very, very good. So it's not all bad, guys. It's not all bad. We got some good stuff coming in for you. So that's fantastic. You have the Nine of Cups with the Ten of Pentacles. Now, the Nine of Cups is all being about satisfaction. It's being about content with what you have. It's a very good place. It's just really enjoying the moment, enjoying the now, and just being happy. So that's excellent. And the Ten of Pentacles is like kind of your, I don't want to say your dream life, but it's just about feeling secure. It's about feeling, financial security, emotional security. It's about kind of just being in a very, very good place, and a place that you can sustain for a very long time. So I think through all this turmoil and turbulence is actually you're going to really push through, because I love that the Chariot is here. Even though it's reversed, it's still here, and he's still saying that you might feel depleted, you might not know exactly what path to take, but you are on the way. So, and especially what's coming in for you in the near future with this Nine of Cups energy, this kind of content and satisfaction with the Ten of Pentacles is amazing. So I think you guys will be getting to a better spiritual, emotional, physical, whatever it is, place shortly or sooner than later at this point, because I feel like a little bit of the worst is over with here. Your challenge, though, regarding this, we have the Five of Swords, the Five of Swords, and we have Death reversed. Now, the Five of Swords, it's one of those cards that I see, I call it my onion card. A lot of cards, not that I see them black and white, but there's a lot of different, each card has different aspects you can consider or see, but the Five of Swords is one of these cards, at least for me, that it's very, very complex. It's like one of the more complex type of cards, and depending on the situation is the way I tend to read it. Now, your challenge, I think, regarding this, I think your challenge is, I don't want to say to be a little selfish, but within this, I think that the Five of Swords, it's kind of a card of sometimes you have to be ready for a battle, or you have to do, I'm not saying underhanded techniques or whatever, but it's a little bit more putting yourself first, especially in this reading. I really feel like this energy is putting yourself first, and especially with the Death here in reverse, this could be saying that you're almost like resisting transitioning to the next phase, to a better phase for you. So I definitely think your challenge with whoever or whatever was the root of this heartbreak and this kind of juggling, kind of like trying to make it work with them, and this emotional turmoil over here, and kind of feeling stuck and then getting out of it. I think your challenge is to continue to put yourself first, continue to put your happiness first, and transition effectively into the next stage of your life. Because I definitely think the next phase is going to be more of this emotional contentment, the satisfaction with kind of maybe you're working on your long-term goals as far as what you want out of your life, your hopes and dreams for your specific life, So that's definitely going to be something, because I feel like it's always hard when you have these King of Cups reversed energies, or you have this little bit of this manipulation, but more of that like emotional type of stuff. These people are very tricky because they hit you in the feels, and they kind of like the puppet master of feelings and stuff. Like they pull the strings. So you might have been having your strings pulled because you probably have a good heart and everything, and you want to help. And some of these people, sometimes I don't think they know what they're doing when they do it, but some people know exactly what the hell they're doing when they do it. So it's tricky. And then I think for you, because I definitely think you've been juggling this, and I think it got to a point where you're like, I can't do this anymore. But I think there's always like that kind of like one step forward, two step back energy a little bit. So you need to not slip back into old patterns with this. You need to make sure that regardless of whatever this is over here, that you are focusing on what you need to focus on for yourself, and maybe they'll figure it out and they'll be along with you on the journey as well. But at this moment, I think this person or situation it's a little messy over here. So I think you're kind of headed into something a little bit more stable and a little bit happier, but it's one step at a time. Now, what's recommended for you guys, you have the Moon reverse with the Page of Swords. So it's very interesting because the Moon reverse to me is saying that the fog is slightly clearing. I think there was maybe a lot of unseen situations or circumstances or things going on over here. You might not have known everything. And because people like this oftentimes, they know what to tell you and they know what not to tell you because they're not dumb. They're trying to get their way with stuff, so they're not stupid either. But I think that you might be gaining some type of clarity in some type of way. And I just feel like with the Page of Swords, I feel like this is saying like, not that if you find information out, maybe like go see if you can kind of get a little more information, because the pages, they're students. It could be some type of message. So it could be like even a message that you're getting that's going to give you some clarity regarding whatever this is over here. And it's recommended that you kind of take note and be aware of that. But I wonder for some of you is that, I wonder if it's almost like you're going to get some clarity for good or bad regarding this. But I think the Page of Swords is saying that be flexible in your thinking. Like, don't almost like get so stuck where you're now getting sucked back into this, not feeling like you can kind of push forward or whatever. Be a little bit curious about maybe other options and other opportunities. But part of me says like stay on your feet a little bit. I don't know how to explain that, but I just think that see, he's quick too. He's quick. He's quick with his mind. So I wonder if some of you have to almost like it's recommended that once you start getting the clarity or information starts coming out, you might have to, I don't want to say react quickly, but this one thing with the swords I like is they're very logical. So you might have to, even though, he's still a student, you might have to kind of make sure that your reactions and what you're doing regarding this is coming from more a logic thought-based reaction versus like an emotional based reaction, because this type of stuff over here, this guy right here, this is all emotional. And emotions, they're good, but it could not be good at sometimes as well. So I think you might need to come with like a little bit curiosity, kind of like a little bit of a quick thinking, and just stay in control maybe a little bit more of your thoughts or the way you're reacting. Make sure you're touching in that if you do find some revelations out, that you're like not just having a knee-jerk emotional reaction, but you're like, okay, let me think about this for at least 2 seconds before I respond type of stuff. Because I think I definitely think you need to put yourself first within this, and you need to focus on the larger aspects that you want out of life right now. And like I said, maybe this person, maybe they'll get it together and then they can kind of walk beside you or be in your life. But I think right now, I just think that this is a little bit, you have some healing to do, and this is a little bit messy over here, and you need to kind of just move on to something a little bit more stable in a sense. Let's see what else we get for you guys though. Okay, guys, first up, we have number 64, Wasp Spirit. Sometimes life stings, and I definitely think this is going with whatever this thing is for you, this situation. I think it stung you, and I think it stung you very, very deeply. Like, I think it was something you were dealing with for a while. You were kind of juggling it. But I do think you got to the point where it's like, you have to move forward and kind of almost heal, maybe release this person, or just have some time away from this situation. Be like, not today, Satan, and not tomorrow either. That kind of energy, because I definitely think you're starting that process, but I think it's lingering a little bit. So, and then you have number 52, Scarab Beetle Spirit. Magic works through you. And I think this is just saying that, like, for instance here, the Chariot in reverse and the Three of Wands, I think you're in the process of trying to get something else going, or figuring something out, or moving forward, whatever that is. But the magic is in between, like the healing, the starting, getting the ball rolling, not maybe knowing exactly how to do it. And then all of a sudden, from your efforts, you're actually getting to a place where you feel satisfied, you're working on your long-term goals, and you're just kind of a lot happier. So that's the beauty of it. That's like the magic, from going from one place of almost despair, regret, loss, into like a stalemate energy of like, how do I know I have to move forward. How do I do this? What am I doing next? To like, okay, I got this ball rolling, and now, things are much better. So that's the beauty of the magic. And I think this beetle is here saying that you can transform this situation into something much better for you. And I think you're going to be a stronger person with it, though, especially because the Five of Swords being your challenge. To me, though, I think that's actually, I don't say it's a good challenge, but to me, I think that putting yourself first will help you maybe learn more about yourself in the future, or help you kind of set boundaries in the future when necessary. You know how that goes. Sometimes it's harder to set boundaries than other times. But next we have Agate, get back into balance. And I think this is definitely you having to rebalance whatever this is, I felt like you spent a lot of time with it, and now you have to be focusing on kind of balancing yourself, your mind, your heart, everything, your life. Oh, I just threw this one over here. Now we have the Sword and Rose: clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, power. And I really think was recommended for you. I think you're going to be getting some kind of truth and clarity. I think the moon, the fog, or the darkness is kind of dissipating. I think you're going to start seeing something a little clearer. And I think the Page of Swords here is really about kind of like that, like revelation as well. You might have that idea, or start kind of being a little curious about something else, or realizing that maybe you were almost like putting yourself in a box in some kind of way, and you're not in the box. You can kind of start looking around. So I think there's some type of real clarity that's definitely going to be good for you to kind of help move you in a better direction, guys. Now we have these two: separation, time apart from your partners on the horizon, and past life relationship. You have known each other before. So I definitely think that this knowing each other before is whatever this was. I think this was, in a weird way, this could be your past life relationship now, because you are moving on to your new life. But I definitely think there's some type of needing to have you time, some type of, okay, like, I'm going to just start doing something different. It's time for me. I got to focus on me right now. And like I said, maybe this person will get their stuff together and you guys can kind of make it work in the future. But regardless of that, this is the way I see it. I tell people this all the time. Like, you're not Captain Save-A-Ho, okay? You can't save everybody, unfortunately. Sometimes I'm trying to do that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to, like, help this person out. Maybe they'll see the error of their ways, or if they're engaging in behaviors that aren't benefiting themselves, maybe they'll get the hint, get the point. I realize I can't fix everybody. So sometimes you can only save yourself. And I know that's like kind of like mean to say. I think definitely sometimes you can help other people, but I think, what do they say? You got to know when to roll them and know when to fold them. Is that the saying? I think I screwed that up. But you got to know when to, like, give it a chance, roll the dice. And then when you're realizing, like, it's just not working, you keep rolling this dice and you're not getting anything, maybe it's time to end the game. You know what I'm saying? Or go do something else. So anyway. Now we have singularity. You are your own sun, moon, and stars. And I think this is a little bit like focusing on yourself type of energy again. Now, sacral chakra, journey. To enjoy the journey, let go of the outcome. And I definitely think that this is whatever concerns or fears, or even not knowing exactly how things are going to go in the future. I just think sometimes you just have to be present. That's what I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn, like, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about, like, 2 weeks or 3 years or 7 years, 15 years down the line. You might not even make it that far. Like, just worry about right this second. What are you doing today? Because I get caught up in this repetitive cycle of worrying about things that may never come because other things might happen, so it's not even relevant. So I just think right now, because I feel like you guys have gone through a little bit, you've gone through some stuff. Maybe just stop focusing on whatever this is as much as you can and just focus on, like, what you want, what makes you happy, your success, Now we have burnout. Your hard work will see results, but your health needs to be maintained. So check in with your doctor, dentist, and health professional and try to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And you have perseverance. You may feel like you're getting nowhere, but there are wonderful changes ahead. Don't give up, which I feel like the burnout was from this situation. I think it burnt you out so much that you were, like, ready to give it up, because that's what the Three of Swords in reverse. I think you were ready to give it up. You balanced it enough. You dealt with it enough with whoever this was. And you were like, okay, it's time for me to move forward. So I definitely think you had the burnout. And the perseverance, I really feel, is going with this Chariot in reverse and the Three of Wands in reverse. It's almost like you don't know exactly what you're doing or how it's going to go or what the next step is, but you're just kind of like hanging in there. And I think that's going to get you to where you need. So that's excellent. Now we have, you are confined only by the walls you build yourself. And I think I was saying that with the Page of Swords. I feel like you might realize that you're not in a box. You might have placed yourself in this box, your mental box, but you're not actually in that box. Like, you could do other stuff. So I feel like you're kind of coming out of this like, okay, this is what I was doing. This is how it was supposed to be. And you're like, you know what? I could do other stuff. I'm an adult. I do what I want. I kind of feel like it's that kind of energy over here. You're gaining some clarity that like, you know what? The hell with it. If I want to do this, I'm going to go do that. You know, obviously if it's like legal and within reason or whatever, but you know what I'm saying here. So yeah, so any kind of mental box, because sometimes these these right over here, sometimes they can be manipulative, and they might be saying stuff to you and you might be absorbing all that, and it's only being said to manipulate you and make you think a certain kind of way. Now, let's see what your little Bob Ross. For Bob Ross, we have just let your imagination go. You can create all kinds of beautiful effects just that easy. And I think this is just saying that, like, you know what? If you've been in this Chariot reverse and this Three of Wands reverse is like really kind of like stuck energy. So just be creative. Because I think within that, you're going to kind of find your happiness in a sense. Now we have affirmation card. We have, today I will breathe. Today, as I face challenges, I will call a mental timeout. I will consciously breathe with my eyes closed and focus on slowing my inhalation and exhalation. So I think that's like, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel a little frustrated, just breathe. Sorry, Jesse's agreeing. He's kind of growling, but he was breathing. That was his little, see, he's breathing now. He's breathing with you guys. One more time, Jesse. Do you want to breathe again? He's done breathing now. Okay. Next up, we have, and you're cute as hell. 0 fox given. So there you guys go. If this was a relationship, you know, the fox here is saying you're cute as hell and he's giving you a lick. So just remember your worth with this, because some of you, this doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be a work situation. It could be somebody that was just, you know, a little too extra. Okay. So I just think sometimes when you deal with people like that, it really kind of shakes you. It kind of makes you feel less than, and you just have to remind yourself that the fox here is saying no negative thinking and you're cute as hell. And for your little stress relief and self-care card, you have gratitude meditation, objective, feeling thankful and grateful. When you wake up or before you go to bed, list 3 or 4 things you're grateful for. Feel the sense of joy for simple things like a warm blanket, a soft bed, or a loving family. Find something different to focus on every day. Spend at least 5 minutes focusing on gratitude and joy. Notice how good this makes you feel. Give yourself a hug and bring a big smile to your face as you prepare for the day ahead, or get ready for a pleasant night's sleep. So this is just saying that you take time for yourself, and if you're a little bit focused on what's not going right currently, just know that good things are coming. And I think that if you really get clear, really kind of just focusing on what you want, you're already a step closer to getting it, you know, because you're kind of putting it out there that I deserve better, I deserve X, Y, and Z, and I'm not settling for less, you know? So for your food fortune, we're going to see what spirit of the dish shall be with you during this situation. You have the spirit of the fountain, which is the spirit of the fountain soda. Now, for the energies that you either need to tap into, you know what? Let me do that in a second. Hold on, I'm forgetting. We're gonna do the dinner and a movie that's recommended for you at this time. You have romance movies and barbecue food. For the energies you either need to tap into or be aware of, you have Capricorn. Now, I would say Capricorn is a very I want to say work-orientated sign. So I think maybe, I'm not saying throw yourself into work, but I'm kind of getting that maybe focus on long-term goals, focus on even just working on yourself, or even just if something around the house, you wanted to do something, maybe some kind of project that you've been putting off that you kind of want to start doing, or something that's going to make you feel a little bit better, a little bit more empowered. I would say do that. I would say work on something that kind of makes you feel a little more empowered, or you're getting your sense of self back if you feel like that's been shattered a little bit. So, and then Aquarius is, they're a little bit outside the box, you know? So I would say kind of see things a little bit differently than you've been seeing them before. You know, maybe think a little bit outside the box, come at things a little kind of different way. But they're also very, I see my mother's an Aquarius. Like, she doesn't like being told what to do. Let's call it for what it is. So I just think that you might have to have that energy here, because I just feel like with this energy, somebody might have been telling you, I'm not saying what to do, but you might have been almost like in this like negative cycle here. So I think that you have to take this kind of energy of this Five of Swords and being like, see, he's sticking out his tongue here. So this is your challenge, is to stick out your tongue at the situation and be like, you know what? I do what I want. I'm an adult, you know? So I think you might have to kind of come at things a little bit more like, you know, put yourself first in a way, kind of a little bit different, a little bit more like independent or eccentric. And let's see what else we get. So now you have the moon here. And I think that this is saying that certain things, you don't see everything right now. But I do think things are going to come to light. And sometimes with the moon, you just have to go one step at a time. Like, you don't see the full path. You can't see anything, maybe. You just got to feel it out. So I think you just need to kind of feel things out during this time. I do think, you know, like it is, the moon goes up or down and the sun goes up or down or whatever. The moon is there and then the sun comes up. So that's how that goes. And we have the south node here. And this is things that you need to release. So it could be some of this over here that needs to be released, you know, whatever this situation is. And I do think you are releasing it, but these things don't always just, it's not like you wake up one morning, you're like, aha, I'm done. So it's a process. And I think you are going within that process currently. You have the 8th house, which represents change, transformation, debts, and secrets. And you have the 11th house, which is all about originality, humanitarianism, connections, and creative ideas. You have number 2, which is an even number, so that means a special guest that'll be answering your question today, Cancer, will be Mr. Predicto. Think of those questions. He'll be out here shortly. So we have D, Y, L, G, E, N. We got C, T, 864. And we got the little Rudolph here, which is actually so fitting because, you know, he was like kind of like, he wasn't allowed to play the reindeer games, you know? He had people kind of like pushing him around a little bit, and you might have felt like you had people pushing you around a little bit. But the thing with Rudolph, he has this like nose here, right? And it's a flashlight. So he can't see everything, but he could kind of see in front of him. And I think this is saying that, like, you just have to hang in there because you might not see everything currently, but I think the moon here, I think things are starting to become a little bit clearer with the moon in reverse being recommended. I think you're starting to see certain things for what they really are. There might have been things you kind of didn't want to see, but now you're putting your flashlight nose on and you're like, you know what? I'm seeing a little clearer these days. So I definitely think, I think this is also about just like kind of hanging in there, having that persistent, like knowing your self-worth as well is what Rudolph is about, because he knew, you know, these other reindeers were being like really nasty to him and they could all go to hell, but like he was nice about it too. But he kind of knows his self-worth. He's like, you know what, screw you all. I got something really good over here. And then they finally realized like he was really good. So I just wonder if some of you, as you kind of level up or as you kind of work on yourself or start getting more like the things that you want, I wonder whoever this is might be coming around again. But I think you, like Rudolph, needs to know the work and what you've been through and remember that, and just don't get swayed again. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, let's see what else we get for you. And we have Dream, and I definitely think this is going with a lot of this energy. I think you just need to kind of keep your goals in mind, especially right now. I feel like some of you might have been, I think sometimes this energy, what's going on over here, it shakes us, or it like kind of, we don't have our dreams, or we kind of get a little like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, we're not focusing on our dreams because we're busy focusing on somebody else's BS type of thing. And the roller coaster and the merry-go-round they're putting us on, right? But I think this is saying that you're in a point where now you need to put yourself first and focus on your dream. Okay, now here we go. Think of those questions, Cancers, and it's time to ask. Oh, Mr. Predicto, the most accurate prediction device to ever run off of batteries. What is the answer to Cancer's question? Just in case you didn't hear, he said yes. So Mr. Predicto is a man of many words, and that was the word he chose here to speak here today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, week, month, year, lifetime, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.